Hey, I'm Chris Craddock, and I have helped thousands of people build wealth by buying and selling real estate. And today I'm going to talk about how inflation impacts the real estate market. And number one, the most important thing to understand is that inflation destroys debt, right? Because what inflation does is devalues money. So if you had a $300,000 mortgage on your house and then inflation happens, what happens is your mortgage stays the same, but the value of your money becomes less. So you'll get more money every single day to essentially, you're going to have to get paid more because inflation means the dollar got devalued. So you're going to get an increase in what you get paid at work. Like everything is going to cost more, but your mortgage is not. That's why when you look back, you see people that buy a house for $12,000, 30, 40 years ago, right? Also, there's an appreciation that comes with real estate as well, but part of that is inflation, right? That's also part of the reason why you never see somebody's grandfather say, man, I'm so glad I sold my house 40 years ago. It doesn't happen. And some of that is the appreciation that naturally happens to real estate, but some of it is the fact that inflation makes the price of everything go up. So if you own real estate, your price does not go up in what you have to pay, but the price of everything else does. So it helps you build that worth. My friend Jason Hartman refers to that as inflation-induced debt destruction. It destroys your debt and makes you wealthier. So with that said, and part of the deal that we'll see is, our politicians, they try to help, right? But they try to help. And this is both on the right and on the left, right? And they try to help. I was seeing with COVID that the government was storing so much money that they didn't have at things. And what was happening was they were writing checks by printing money and other monetary policy that created inflation. Well, what inflation happened, instead of helping everybody equally, what it does is it helps those that own real estate get a lot more wealthy, and those that don't, the gap, they don't have that wealth that comes. So it creates a disparity between the wealthy and the poor, the landowners and the non-landowners is kind of the way that it works, because inflation ends up making real hard assets worth so much more. Because just think about it. If you have dollars in your bank account, inflation happens, those dollars are worth less. If you have dollars in your property and inflation happens, that property is worth more. So essentially, inflation helps those that own real estate and it hurts those that don't tremendously. So what does that mean to all of us? What it means to all of us is that if you want to build legacy wealth, if you want to build wealth in your family, if you buy real estate, again, you look at the history of real estate, it always goes up. Even after the biggest crash in the history of crashes, it's gone way up. During that 2000 to 2010 time period, you saw the price of real estate went up by almost $30,000 as an average. So even after the biggest hit crash in the history of all crashes, real estate is going up. And part of that is appreciation, but part of that is inflation. And so what we'll see here is inflation helps those that buy real estate. Lastly, here's just the way to think about real estate. Real estate is like an auction. You will never win monopoly if you don't buy the property that you land on. Maybe you're not landing on Park Place, right? I'll just say that. Maybe you're not landing on Boardwalk, but most people in middle America, most people are still landing on St. James Place. They're still landing on Oriental Avenue, and they still need to buy it, whether it's, a multi-million-dollar property or whether it's, a middle tier property. You do not win monopoly if you don't buy. And let's just be honest, right? You're always paying somebody's mortgage off, right? You're either paying off your landlord's mortgage or you're paying off your own mortgage. Might as well build wealth for you, yourself, and your family. And you're gonna win because inflation is gonna help everybody that owns property. So here's the deal. If you understand what inflation does to your finances, you will buy real estate. Because as inflation goes up, which we're seeing, it's rampant right now, what it does is make the value of property and real estate go up. And when you understand that, you'll be able to buy real estate to build legacy wealth for you and your family. So with that said, buy real estate, cut out inflation, get rid of your debt, and build your wealth. So if you want to learn more about real estate, like, follow, hit us up in the comments. I would love to interact with you. And we'll talk more. And if there's some other topics you'd like to discuss, let us know.